We're MHacks. I'm Shawn Cooper.
Andrew Lavery.
Nate Jones.
And Caleb Pratt.
And the four of us are freshmen, and so we obviously started with problems that freshmen have coming into U of M. And one of the big things that we found was that it's a big campus and the buildings are even bigger, and they're really hard to figure out. There's not really a good way to find your way around them, and you kind of have to seek out a fire map or something to figure out where your class is. So we created an app and a website that lets you input the building that you want to find and the floor. So it's an app that you can search. It uses autocomplete. So say we wanted to look into Denison, which is a really confusing building, by the way. So you can either autocomplete Denison or just search Denison. Either way works. So we're going to search Denison, if I can spell it right. And then you can either hit go, and it'll populate to all of these maps are on a U of M website that is very hard to get to. So it'll populate the floors. We can go to the 6th floor, and then it'll take you to the website of the map. And you can zoom in and look at the map and figure out where your class is based on where you are. The cool part is that it's actually dynamic. The floor choosing is dynamic. So if you wanted to type in Randall, which is a whole bunch of subfloors, like underground or whatever, basements, it'll generate the floors for you, and then there's sub-basements, and it only has the number of floors that are in each building. So we can go to the basement of Randall, and it'll take you to the basement of Randall.
So we also developed a web background for this too. It was kind of a completely separate development, but it also has much similar functionality. You can type in yeah. So you can search for like BBB for the Bob and Betsy Beister building, and it populates it with the same maps if you want to, like, say, print it from home or something, so you can take it with you. So yeah, that's mainly what our app does. So any questions?
Does the app know where you are in relation to the map?
We haven't implemented that.
So we looked into trying to identify a specific way to map where you are within a building, which is not so easy to try and, because you'd have to orient this map on top of a GPS signal and then try and figure out where you are based on that, and then put in what floor you are on it. With the amount of time we had and the fact that we're all freshmen and none of us knew anything. This is my first Android app that I've ever started, really. I did a Hello World before this, and one of these guys knew PHP, so everything we did was first time. So we were starting from the very basics, and that was what it was.
Does the app know where the buildings are? Like when I get a class in the SEV and I say, what in the heck is the SEV?
That was a planned.
We have access to the data. We haven't actually implemented that in the app or on the webpage yet.
What's your source of data for all these maps?
So the ITS service inside of the university has a set of Wi-Fi maps that show the coverage of Wi-Fi in all the buildings on like any of the university buildings except Northwood. So they actually put them online for anybody to look at, but they hide them, so it's really hard to get to all of them. But we found the directory.
To the best of our knowledge, this is like the only app, well, the only maps on the internet of all the buildings on University of Michigan's campus. So I haven't found any other way to find maps. Anyways, thank you.